You know, life is mostly mediocre moments in the middle ground, but what we tend to remember are the really fucking great and really fucking awful times. But we're mostly in the middle of the road just grinding, putting one foot in front of the other because it's what we think we're supposed to be doing and it's what everybody else is fucking doing. And we silently stew in the mundanity of it all, waiting for the next exaltation or the next panic attack and romanticizing about how much better life was back then or would be under such and such a condition, so forth and so fucking on. But guess what? Hidden within every mundane moment is something that's fucking extraordinary, and you have direct access to it. Consider this. If we made a salty mud ball and suspended it in like a terrarium or some shit, in which was simply a cold and hostile void, and we had a lamp on a string shining onto our mud ball while spinning around the motherfucker and did that for 4.5 billion years, what would that mud ball do? Our salty mud ball called Earth peopled. What the fuck? What would our mud ball do, if anything? It just seems unlikely that a mud ball would produce little meat bits that are conscious. That's the point. It's just all about perspective, people. According to the Drake equation, 1 in a million stars have a planet orbiting it. 1 in a million of those might have the right combination of temperatures, chemicals, liquids, day and night cycles to support any kind of life we can conceive of. But fuck all that. The fact that in the creation of the universe, everything lined up with such impossibly thin margins, like the strong and weak nuclear forces and all the other fucking physical properties, that they would line up to actually have a universe of matter is 1 in 1 with 229 zeros behind it. What the fuck? If you look at the math, it seems somehow contrived. I mean, the likelihood that organic molecules would form as they did are the same odds of a tornado hitting a junkyard and creating a fully functional rocket ship shaped like a dick that could fucking be driven into space. The likelihood of you being you is incalculable, and the likelihood of you knowing you're you, I mean, come on. Hot stardust cooled and clumped and eventually became people-shaped electrified meat golems that go through life woe is meing because they cannot conceive of an infinite and impossible daisy chain of events. An entire cosmic conspiracy that has led directly to this moment, and to you, an aperture through which the universe can experience and know itself. I'm not trying to give you a fucking science lesson. I'm not a scientist. This is about something science doesn't understand. That's why it's called the hard problem of science. Fucking consciousness. Our greatest minds, neurosurgeons, psychologists, whoever, no one knows what the fuck it is really. But guess what? Everyone knows what it is without even fucking knowing they know. Because it's both hijacked by thoughts and mental events and is perceived as a one-way flow. I am aware of that. The experiential truth of what we are is an awareness without the of. Like the infinite emptiness of space allows there to be matter, planets and stars, etc. The empty wakeful vastness of our primordial mind allows for thoughts and mental events. And the egoic structure that convinces itself it's a thing separate from objects of awareness. I hope this cracks your paradigm a little, or that you find something else that does. The physical universe is laden with an infinite amount of rabbit holes of thought and speculation to explore. A never-ending labyrinth of entertainment, mystery, excitement, frustration, and woe. But the substratum of thought, the inner universe, when perceived directly, unpolluted by the thought process, is the most amazing thing of all. And you are experiencing that every fucking moment without even realizing it because it's too damn close, closer than close. You first find it through a glimpse behind thought. And if you haven't had one, I assure you that if you aim yourself towards that ineffable truth, you fucking will. But thoughts are assholes, and they will co-opt your glimpse just to reinforce itself, to add layers onto what it inherently knows is a bubble filled with emptiness, a temporary, fragile, electric skin of thought that must eventually pop. I suppose that death is an inevitable pop, but if you can experience a pop while still alive, plowing through the persistent illusion of reality with your meat tractor, then guess what? There are no more mundane moments. There are no thoughts compelling enough to tangle your ass up for any length of time if you don't want to be. You are lucid living, waking up to reality just as it is, not as you've been trained to see it, and then just do you, completely aware of awareness in its pristine state, but enjoying the way it shines through the temporary bubble that you call yourself. I like to use science not for the sake of collecting information, but to break the chains of thoughts and to break default paradigms to see what the fuck shines through. To be absolutely astounded by your own conscious existence is a good start. People are trying to understand consciousness through thought. It's like an eye trying to see itself. Just see. That's it. Walk through your life more aware of your own awareness behind thought than you are on thoughts themselves or objects of perception. You'll walk a strange and nonsensical line, and you are that but also this, the thinker and the thoughts, the witness and the participant. You are an ocean of awareness, the surface of which produces waves and troughs of experience. The extraordinary, the shitty, joy, suffering, and supposed mundanity. If you think you're the wave, you're going for a fucking ride. But if you know you're the sea, then you experience that reality is entirely within you, an extraordinary mundanity. Toodaloo.